After discussing about the cell, the next thing we will discuss is the cell theory. Now, what cell theory suggests? The cell theory was jointly put forward by Scleden and Schwann in 1839 in their paper Microscopic Investigation on the Similarities of Structure and Growth in Animals and Plants. So they have noted down some observations. So we will first of all look after these observations. First, all organisms are composed of one or more cells. That is, a living cell, whenever it will have a living being, it will have a cell. So all organisms are composed of one or more cells. One in case with the unicellular cell, more in case with the multicellular cells. Second thing, cells are the basic unit or basic living units within organism, and the chemical reaction of life takes place within cells. So all the reactions, biochemical reactions, are taking place within a cell. So cell is present in all living organisms. Second, the reactions that is taking place in an organism, they are within a cell. Third, all cells arises from pre-existing cell. Now this was the very fundamental observation that they have noted down. All cells, they arise from pre-existing cell by the process of division and are not formed de novo. That is, assembling the components, and say for example membrane, we'll get membrane from somewhere, we'll get DNA from somewhere, we'll get other organelle from the residual of the other cell, earlier cell, and it will form a cell. This thing will never happen. All the cells, they emerges from the pre-existing cell. So these were the fundamental observations put forward by the Scleden and Schwann in 1839 in their paper Microscopic Investigation on the Similarities of Structure and Growth in Animals and Plants. So we'll move next to the, in 1855, Rudolf Virchow, he has observed that under the microscope these cells are able to divide. So he supported their observations, that is, all the cells, they come from pre-existing cell by the process of division. So Rudolf Virchow, he observed that the cells, they can divide and form the descendant cells, or they can increase the number of cells. He reasoned that all cells come from other pre-existing cells by the process of cell division. So now it is pretty clear that the cell, it can divide and form two daughter cells if it is the case of mitosis, or it can undergo another type of cellular division, such as in case with the germ cells. That process is regarded as meiosis. So by cell division, either through mitosis or through meiosis, the cell, they can grow, enlarge in size and divide, thus increasing their size, number and mass. Next, Haeckel in 1866, he established that nucleus, it stores or it houses the genetic material and transmits the hereditary characteristics or traits. So again, this was important observation that within an organism, nucleus is present, and in nucleus the hereditary trait, or the, what we can say, the molecule which carries the genetic information. As it was 1866, it was not known that which molecule or which biomolecule carries the genetic material. Now it is known to us that it is the DNA which carries the genetic information. But at that time it was not clear which molecule was having genetic information. So there was a dilemma that whether it is a DNA or it is a protein which carries the genetic information. But it was sure that the nucleus, it stores the genetic information, that is hereditary traits. The cell theory thus was modified accordingly and was renamed as cell doctrine or cell principle. Now we Next, based upon the observations after the cell theory, which was further modified, and now we know it as a modern cell theory. So modern cell theory also has some assumptions, or based upon the assumptions given by cell theory, it has been the extension of the earlier cell theory. So what model cell theory it suggests or it proposes is the cell is the fundamental unit of structure and function of living organism. This is what we have discussed in cell theory also. Second thing, new cells arise from pre-existing cells through division. This is also we have discussed in cell theory. All new cells contain the same amount and degree of genetic information as contained in the parent cell. Now this was the further observation that though the cells they come from the parent cell, they have exactly the same amount of genetic material. So because of the what we can say the mechanism that strictly transfers the entire genetic material, that is by the controlled process this has been transferred to the next generation. It is because of the checkpoints that we will discuss while discussing the cell cycle. Exactly the same content is transferred to the descendant cell. So all the progeny cells that are formed from the parent cell, they are genetically identical, having the same genetic content if it is the case of mitotic division. Third is energy flow occurs within cells. Now this is also been noted down by the cell theory. That is, there is an exchange of energy. The energy can be synthesized or it can be utilized for the different processes. Fourth observation, cells contain genetic information, DNA, or in some cases it was RNA. Now we know that it is RNA also which carries genetic information. As we know, there are some viruses even today which carries which are having RNA as a genetic material. So cell contains hereditary information in DNA which is passed from cell to cell during cell division. So while cell division, apart from the cellular component or the organelles, cytoplasmic organelles, the nuclear content, that is the DNA, is also inherited or transferred from parent cell to the progeny cell. The next observation was all cells are basically the same in chemical composition in organism of similar species. That is, within a species, all the organisms will have similar kind of genetic content, similar type of or similar kind of organelles. So within a species, the cellular components or composition will be almost the same. These were the observations of modern cell theory. Next, all known living things are made up of one or more cells. This was also proposed by earlier cell theory. Seventh, some organisms are made up of only one cell and are known as unicellular, while the other organisms are referred to as an multicellular. So if organism has only one cell, it is single celled unicellular organisms. Others are multicellular, having more than one cell in them. Next, the activity of an organism, it depends upon the total activity of independent cell. That is the holistic task or a function. Now we know that the hierarchy of how it works. The cell, it combines with the other cells, it forms group of cells. That is regarded as a tissue. Tissue, it works synergistically and forms, for a particular task it works and it forms an organ. An organ is having a distinct function or a particular function. So what this cell theory has proposed or modern cell theory has proposed, the activity of an organism, it will depend upon the total activity of independent cell, what individual cells are doing. These cells, they are working with the other cells, whether they are working synergistically and they are synthesizing or they are metabolizing a particular component, then the fate of that organism will be decided by that individual cell. Next observation was, depending upon specific requirement, the cells get modified. Now this is called as a differentiation. From, as we have discussed, from a common cell, that is we can call it as a stem cell or progenitor cell, different lineages can be formed. The cell can evolve differently. It depends upon the specific requirement of that particular organism or that particular cell. So it is a number of factors decide that fate. Cell, for the cell differentiation, the internal component, the surrounding environment and other things, they are controlling the cell differentiation. So depending upon specific requirement, the cells get modified. Example, elongated, as they are seen in case with the muscles and nerve cells, while loss of nucleus, as the RBCs or mature RBC in humans, they are not having nucleus, they are devoid of nucleus. So there is a loss of nucleus in case with the RBC, while the muscles or nerve cells, in that case the cell is not circular or oval, it is elongated, elliptical. Or cytoplasm is outer skin cells. So these are the differentiation that can be seen, or they are made up by the cells depending upon the requirement, depending upon their task.